So about a year ago, much to my girlfriend's dismay, I started getting into semi-modular synthesis, specifically, as you can tell, Moog semi-modular synths. And I've probably spent all of the money that I would have spent on a holiday on just buying synths this year. And there's one thing that I've found, and that's the more synths I buy, the more redundant the Mother 32 becomes. That's because really it only has one oscillator where, say for example, my Matriarch has 4. But instead of just chucking the Mother 32 on eBay, I found that it can do so much more. And this is what I love about modular synthesis, is it teaches you to work within those limitations. And actually, when pairing the noise module of the Mother 32 up to the Dfam, you can get a really great beat basically. So why did I do this to start off with? Well, essentially because the Dfam, as great as it is just a kick and a snare. Now I know with creative patching you can do a lot more, but let's face it, it's a kick and a snare. It's a great kick and a snare, but it's a kick and a snare. Now, when we add the noise module from the Mother 32, let's see what happens. All of a sudden, it just brings that whole beat out to sound like something completely new and something completely fresh. So in this video, I'm just going to be showing you a couple of tips on how to use that most effectively in your setup so you don't chuck your Mother 32 on eBay. Okay, so the first thing we want to do to get set up is we want to make sure all of our knobs are in the right place. So we want to change the mix all the way over to the noise because we'll only be using the noise element for the Mother 32 for now. We will be finally using the high pass filter on the Mother 32, and let's turn the cutoff all the way down for the moment. We can change these all to get our perfect sound later, but this is just the best setup to start off with. Then we're going to turn the attack all the way down and the decay just above where we've put the attack originally and turn the sustain off. So now, the last thing we need to do is we just need to get a clock source. So I'm patching the tempo from the trigger of the Dfam, and that'll be the only patching we're doing. So now when I click play on here, I've got a really, really basic hi-hat on the Mother 32. It is very basic, but it's better than just on its own. Now, we want to do a little bit more than this, and in order to do that, I've got 2 methods that I kind of use. The first is kind of like a live playing method, which looks a little bit like this. And the second is where we can sequence one in. So first, let's have a look at the live method. So let's get our basic beat from the Dfam. And all we're going to do on here is we're going to use the tempo to adjust the tempo of our hi-hats and the decay to mimic kind of like an open and closing of the hi-hats. So let's see what that sounds like. So that's nice and simple, but obviously, being synth players, there's loads of knobs around here that we want to play with, so we don't want to do that the whole time. It's quite a kind of nice, kind of organic feeling live way to play the hi-hats, but there's other things we can do. So next, let's move on to how we can sequence it just using 8 steps. So the first thing we need to do is we need to record in an 8-step sequence. So all we're going to do is go to record and then put those 8 steps in there. Now when I click play and turn it up, there's my 8-step sequence. But if I go to shift and step, I can now kind of play around with these, turn them off, turn them on, see what it sounds good, add the Dfam. That sounds all right. Now, we can do ratchets and lots of different things. The one thing I want to show, because we're looking at open and close hi-hats, is an accent. So if I go to shift and let's select this number 2 here, and go to accent. That's now giving me a nice open hi-hat on 2. So there you have it, a nice easy way to use the Mother 32 to complement the Dfam. There's loads more you can do with this, but this is a great starting point to really pair the two together. Now, if you like this content, please hit like and subscribe. I plan to bring out some 1/2 minute tutorials on some of the cool things that I found just by accidentally patching different things in the new year. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great new year.